Okay, so welcome to the third session of everything we need to know about staying healthy. Uh, so far what we have covered is we talked about health resolutions and why they fail. We looked at weight loss and how we can accomplish weight loss, and basically how does the body react to losing weight, and what can we do to optimize this process. This is our goal. Uh, then today we'll talk about carbs and calories, dieting and food. How should we eat? What should we eat? And maybe also talk about some fads and myths around this. Then we'll follow this up with a workout and the mind-body connection in future. So carbs and calories. We hear a lot about this. And Western science always looked at food in terms of calories. So how much you should eat, calorie in needs to be equal to calorie out, or maybe less than calorie out if you wanted to reduce your weight. Uh, but there is a problem with that definition. It's being too scientific. Does not look at the big picture. Food contains a lot more than just calories. It has vitamins, it has minerals, it has plant-based chemicals called phytochemicals, which help in fighting diseases and which help in anti-aging and fighting even diseases like cancer. So and helps in repairing and healing the body. So food is greater than just calories. When you combine various foods in what you eat, then it basically becomes bigger than calories, carbohydrates, fats, and protein. So let's look into this a little bit and try to understand what we should eat, what we should not eat, and why all calories are not equal. So if you look at these two pictures, and I'll be honest, I am reusing most of these slides from my previous session. So people like Anurag, who have been very uh, regular on all these sessions, may have seen this. But the reality is, if you talk about health and fitness, there is only limited information. There is nothing new, and new things that come out are usually fads, which then fade away in a little bit. So anyway, the basics still apply. So if you look at this food, there is a big difference. On the left-hand side, you have commercial food like processed. The roti in between would have refined flour and a lot of low-quality fat being used, or oils being used to make this food. On the right-hand side, you have home-cooked food. So if both these foods gave you whatever, say 800 calories in these plates, these calories are not equal, because the amount of nutrition that you'll get on what you see on the right hand side is much more than what you have on the left hand side. You'll get whole grains with the roti that you eat at home. You'll get a lot of good quality beans and lentils. You'll get a lot of green vegetables here. So that way it's an apple to orange comparison. In fact, even calling it an apple to orange comparison is not fair. So you are getting much more in terms of nutrition with what you see on the right hand side. And similarly here, right, if the calories being equal, then what you have on left is completely useless for the body. It does not give any nourishment to the body. Uh, Whereas on the right hand side, you're getting whole grains, you're getting good carbohydrates, you're getting proteins and vitamins. So the point being, we need to start, and there is a lot of discussion on carbs, and people start avoiding carbs because there are myths that carbs are bad for you and we should go on a high protein diet. That is a myth and something we should avoid if we want to improve our health. What we need to do instead is eat unprocessed carbohydrates. So that is the key to understand. Unprocessed carbohydrates, which have whole grains, anything which has not been processed, is not in a pack. That is what we are looking for. And we also need to include fruit and vegetable in our diet. Uh, so that's primarily what we should include. And what I do have a few slides which which gives you examples on how we can plan this. The other thing is what foods to avoid. When people say, carbs are bad, it's the processed carb that is bad. It's not whole grains, it's the processed carb that is bad. So things like chips, biscuits, namkeens, bhujia that we eat, packed bakery products, pre-cooked food packets, heat and eat items, bread, commercial bread that is available in the market, right? The 20, 30 rupee bread that's available, refined flour, noodles, or to uh, breakfast cereal. In fact, breakfast cereal is very heavily refined and has a lot of sugar added to it. So these are the kind of carbs that we need to avoid, and we should switch over to whole grains and unprocessed carbs. And the reason is these refined carbs have no nutrition. Excessive refining destroys the micronutrients, the phytochemicals, and antioxidants. Everything, all the nutrition is gone. And on top of that, there is a lot of added salt, sugar, even fats uh, to these foods. So which is harmful, and then it's also addictive. If you go into the theory of what refined food does for us with added sugars and salts, it basically you get into a habit of having that food. Your brain actually sends signals to you. It releases dopamine, which is the feel good hormone, which basically tells you, okay, I want to have this whatever refined packed bhujia or whatever at 4 p.m. in the evening, because I've gotten used to having that. So the problem with all these foods is that even if you are full, you're not feeling hungry, you are still nutritionally deficient. So your body is looking for these vitamins and minerals and nutrients that it actually needs to function, and you end up eating more because you are never satiated. You never feel full because of the refined food items that you're eating. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other is, which I wanted to focus on, is dieting. Dieting is a big industry. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, and a lot of stress is focused by the dieting industry on low carb food, low fat food. And then there are fads that come in every few years: keto diet, paleo diet. You can eat every 2 hours. You have to eat less. You have to eat this at this time. You have to do intermittent fasting, or you have to go on extended fasts. So and people are trying to sell. It's a business. We have to understand that it's a business, and people are trying to sell proprietary foods also and tell us what we can eat and not eat. But the reality is, most of the times these diets do not work. It is not a long-term solution. And when these diets fail, implicitly or explicitly, the blame is put on the person who took the diet on some advice, or based on some hope, or some goal that I'll lose weight, or I'll regain my health. So that is one of the biggest problem. It causes not only physical damage, but it also causes psychological damage to the person going on these diets, because you fail, and then you are led to believe that you are a loser, and you are the one who is unable to go with this diet that will fix all your health problems. The thing that a lot of people kind of are swayed towards these diets is the fact that people tend to lose weight when they initially go on the diet, and this weight loss is always temporary. It's never permanent. And we in the previous session that we had on weight loss, we saw how in one of the TV shows, The Biggest Loser, almost all the participants who lost maybe 10, 15, 20 kgs of weight during that TV show regain that weight within 1 year of going off that diet. The thing is, when you go on a diet, initially you lose a lot of water, and because of that, you're eating less, so the body doesn't need to retain that much water, and that shows you that you're losing weight. But that is not permanent. And as soon as you go back on a normal diet, the weight will come back, and in fact it will increase beyond what it was originally, because the body is now reacting. Body is saying, okay, there there was a famine, I was not getting enough to eat. So as soon as I start getting more food, I will start accumulating it, and I will accumulate it beyond my original threshold. So if I was originally I was 80 kgs, the body will try to take it to 85 kg or even 90 kg, because it thinks there is a scarcity of food. So this is not sustainable in the long haul, and not just from the restrictive eating perspective, you're eating less, but also the quality of food, right? We as humans need tasty, nourishes food. So this thing doesn't work in the long run. So what we need to do is, come up with a diet that works for us, that will work for us and our family for our entire, duration of our lives, and something that we enjoy. And that's what we are going to talk about. And as I said, whatever changes we make in our diet, it has to be something that works for your entire family. It works for your, husband or wife. It works for your parents if they live with you. It has to work with for your children also. You cannot cook, multiple meals, something for children and something different for us and something different for the parents. And that is what happens if you go on a very, very eclectic restricted diet, because not everyone wants to eat that. So the key is to find this middle ground where what we cook at home is something that everyone enjoys. So here, if you look at this chart, this is how most of us eat normally. So a lot of our, the food that we eat is wheat and rice. That is a big component, almost 50% of what we eat. And then we eat maybe 25%, not even 25, I would say 17, 18% lentils and beans, some milk and milk products, a little bit of vegetables, meat, eggs, and so on. Fruit and seeds, and these are really low. Even raw salad, we don't eat that much. This is what we need to change. So if you look at this slide, this is how we should actually be eating, and all we need to do is reduce the amount of wheat and rice that we eat. Because, and again, it's not that wheat and rice is bad. Wheat and rice is not bad, it's perfectly good food. But you want to eat a mixture of lots of foods, right? You do not want to primarily eat one thing. You do not want to primarily eat just grains in your diet. You have to combine that with a lot of, vegetables and fruit and seeds and nuts and so on. So that's why we are saying reduce sweet and rice. We are not saying reduce sweet and rice because it's carb or because it's bad for you. It's not. But if you eat just one thing, then you will be nutritionally deficient. You need a lot of varied things to get all the nutrients you need for the body to thrive. Then increase your lentils and beans input a little bit, especially beans, right? Rajma and chole and lobia and all the beans that are available in India. And in India we have very good food options compared to the West, in my opinion. So milk and milk products we should reduce a little bit. I would not say we eliminate, but maybe reduce a little bit, but increase our vegetable intake. Definitely it needs to be much more, and at least I would say 20% of what we eat. Increase our raw salad. So and I'll differentiate between cooked vegetables and raw salad. Increase the amount of raw salads we eat. Increase the amount of fruit that we eat, and we'll talk about when to have fruit in the upcoming slides. And then we also need to increase the amount of seeds and nuts that we eat on a daily basis. And seeds and nuts are really, really nutritious, because see, a seed is something from which a plant starts, from which it grows. So it has all the nutrients that this new life needs to grow. So if you have that, if you have sprouts, if you have seeds, you get all those nutrients, you get all the vitamins, you get the proteins, that are necessary for growth and sustaining life. So with this, keeping this in perspective, let's see how we can change our day-to-day what we eat. And this is just if you get up at early in the morning around say 7 a.m. until you have your dinner at in the evening, how should your meal plan be? And it's not a hard and fast diet plan at all. It's just some practical updates that we can make to how we eat. So one thing we should always keep in mind is to have fresh fruit when we get up. It's going to give you the sugar or the energy that you need in the morning, right? And if you are someone who goes for a walk or goes for exercise after that, this will help in giving you the fuel that you need for that activity. Also, drink plenty of water, especially in the morning. Water is so essential for all body activities. So, drink at least 2 to 3 liters every day. And then I said, eat dry fruit and seeds. And then you can have your whatever you need. Usually we get up and we have tea or coffee. Once you have had at least some fruit and some seeds and dry fruit like badam and kaju and something kishmish, then you can eat or drink your tea. Don't have tea on empty stomach, and avoid biscuits and rusks and namkeens early in the morning. This is absolutely junk food, something to be avoided. And we need to switch to dry fruit and seeds. So here are some examples, right? Lots of water. Any seasonal fruit will work. Banana, pomegranate, papaya, apple, anything that's available seasonal. It does not have to be exotic. It does not have to be imported fruit. It does not have to be imported American apples. If you get something local, like in summers you get mangoes, right? So have a mango. And do mix and match with other seasonal food that is available. Uh, and seeds, right? Sunflower seeds, melon, pumpkin seeds. These are very nutritious, along with almonds and walnuts and other dry fruit that we get. The things to avoid are biscuits, rusk, bread. You make these three changes in your early morning diet, your body will thank you. Avoid white bread as much as you can. I would say completely eliminate it from your diet. It's really harmful, and it's like eating white bread is like eating spoonfuls full of sugar. From a biological perspective, that's what it is. It is sugar. It is refined to that extent. Breakfast, never skip it, in my opinion. But eat complex carbs, right? Do not eat refined carbs. Do not eat breakfast cereals. Eat something made at home, which is more fresh, has raw ingredients, has whole grains. Eat eggs if you want to eat that. But here are some options that work. Even roti sabzi works, right? If that goes for you. But paratha, sabzi, dahi, poha, upma are regional, local options, right? Idli, chutney. If you want, sometimes these become impractical. So you want something ready-made, kind of instant. I would, instead of using breakfast cereal, I would go for rolled or steel cut oats. Don't go for instant oats, which are available and cook in 2 minutes. You can get steel cut oats on Amazon or Big Basket these days. So try those. There are recipes available. They take longer to cook because they are unrefined. If it's refined food, it will cook really fast. If it's unrefined, unprocessed, it will take longer to cook. And then you can add a lot of good things to it to improve the quality of what you are eating. So these are all some good options. You can have fruit again with breakfast if you want, but avoid commercial bread, avoid breakfast cereal, packed fruit juice. This is a big no-no. It is just sugar syrup. Don't have fruit juice. Have fruit instead, fresh fruit. Bakery items, instant oats. You don't need instant oats. Switch to steel cut oats. Uh, Lunch, the key to improve the quality of your lunch is to add a large salad to your lunch, and it does not have to be any fancy salad. It can be simple, simple ingredients that are available, and seasonal ingredients which are available. And don't give up on rice, roti, dal, sabzi. I do talk to some people who have given up either on roti or have given up on rice, believing that these are bad for you and make you gain weight. Please don't do that. As long as it's home cooked, and roti is, hopefully, if we can find a local atta chakki near your place, and get flour which has been processed in front of you. It's not too old. It has not been heavily processed. Mixing other flours. So that would be a good option instead of getting packed flour from a departmental store. And keep rotating what you eat. Don't eat the same thing because the body needs a wide variety of nutrients to thrive. So don't make few key ingredients your primary food. Keep switching and eat local. So salad. It can be a simple salad: kheera, onion, tomato, amla. The Indian gooseberry works great. Green chilies are good. Leafy greens, whatever are available, if you can get from a good source, that is a good thing. But it does not have to be a fancy salad. You can make it on your own really easily. Lentils are really good. Multigrain roti, as I said, you can add a different kind of grains to make it multigrain. Curd and buttermilk are good options. Vegetables, any seasonal vegetable which is available. Beans are really very nutritious, very high in protein, and beans are there is a very heavy correlation between longevity and areas where people eat a lot of beans. So beans are amazing food. Rice, no problem in eating that. You can eat paneer once or twice a week. And anything that's local. You can also eat sweets, right? People give up sweets. You don't have to do that, right? You can have it once or twice a week after food. And if you the only tip I can give is, if you can wait for a couple of hours, right after lunch, don't have your sweet. Wait for a couple of hours. When you feel hungry at 4 p.m., have your sweet before you have your tea. So there is nothing wrong with that, and it will not, you know, uh, it will not make you gain weight if you do it, once or twice a week, not every day. What you need to avoid is roti made of commercially packed atta. This is one big change that we can make. After not eating white bread, if we can eliminate the commercial packed atta from our food, that will help. Anything from restaurant order in kind of stuff. And I think we have done that. A lot of us have done that with the COVID situation. But if we can limit eating out or ordering in, that would also definitely help, because the ingredients are not that great. Even though the food tastes great most of the times, but the ingredients are not that great. Then evening snack, don't get too hungry. Don't get to a point where you can't control yourself and you end up eating more, or you're depleted of sugar, and then you end up eating a lot, just to avoid that down that you feel at 4 p.m. in the evening. But do avoid biscuits and bakery items. You can eat fruit, you can eat dry fruit. Choose healthy options, right? There is no problem with snacking as long as it's limited in the amount that you eat, and also these are healthy options. So these are, dry fruit is a good option. Something like, dhokla or homemade, bread with peanut butter. That's a good option. Maybe a small sandwich, shakes, roasted peanuts, anything made at home, even a homemade laddu or matti. These are good options. And you can eat something more adventurous if you want once in a while. So that doesn't matter. But again, these are the big culprits that we have to avoid: bakery items, namkeens, biscuits. If you compare a samosa with commercial namkeen, I would eat a samosa any day, or a homemade pakoda any day compared to biscuits or bakery items. If you talk of dinner, one key is to have dinner early, ideally before 8 p.m., maybe 7 if that works for you from a practical perspective. But remember your greens. Don't ignore greens. And the list is exactly same as what I had in the lunch section. But you mix and match. You don't want to eat the same thing for lunch and dinner. One thing that you can do is avoid eating sweets avoid eating sweets after dinner. Because the point is, after dinner, right, your body doesn't need that much energy. You're going to sleep anyway, so don't add that excess sugar to your body. What you can instead do is have your sweets after lunch or in the evening at 4 p.m. when you need to snack. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, right? The point is, small changes will go a long way. You do not have to go on extensive diets or very strict diets or restricted eating. Just eliminate the big culprits like processed foods, commercial flour, and white bread. Eat a lot of green and colorful vegetables. If it's very colorful, that's what you want to eat, right? Mix and match various colors, and eat both raw and cooked. Also, one thing which I do cover in the longer format of this session, do try to limit the amount of non-vegetarian food that you eat. Make it ideally less than 10% of your total diet. There are serious health concerns with eating too much non-vegetarian food. And remember, diets do not work. Make changes that you can follow for life, and you and your family can follow for life, just not you. And it's important to teach kids what is good food and what is food that, or food like substance that they should avoid. And last but not least, food is not a punishment, it's a celebration, right? It brings people together, it brings families together. So enjoy it. Don't punish yourself by going on these ridiculous diets or restricted eating. That is all I had for today. Any questions? I know we are just at 3 p.m. Any questions, any thoughts? No? Anyone?
So, Manish, there are all these different kind of seeds, right? Talk about flax, chia, and there is I think last few years, this is getting more and more prominent, right? So
Right.
in our life. So what is your take on those?
Yeah, seeds definitely we should add to our diet. Seeds are very nutritious, have a lot of vitamins, and I have a lot of protein and so on. So, uh, but you don't have to go for the exotic seeds, right? You said flax seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's alsi in Hindi. It's
Mm-hmm.
very cheap and easily available. Have alsi. Have I think I had a list here. Have melon seeds and is that? Let me find that. 1 second. Yeah, here. So you
Pumpkin, yeah.
can have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds,
Mm-hmm.
flax or alsi seeds. Raisins are good if you can get good quality raisins. So, seeds are really nutritious, but you don't have to go for anything fancy. That's the
Mm-hmm.
point. Because people are again trying to sell stuff, which you don't. You
Yeah,
can go to any local grocery store and get a lot of seeds at very reasonable rates.
right. Yeah,
Definitely
that's
eat them.
that's another challenge. How do you ensure that you are getting good stuff, right? I mean, because talk about oils, most of the oils are refined oils, for example, especially that you buy in the market.
Mhm.
So I think it's a little bit of hard work also that you need to do and make sure that you are getting the right stuff.
Right. So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. So, on that, see, food is the most important thing, right? Roti, kapda, and makan. So, and we have been trained to see that food has to be easiest. You don't have to work hard to get good food. That was never historically, that was never the case, right? Getting food took long time. People had to work hard in the field or go hunting gathering. Now with all the departmental stores, and so it has become convenient. And when you go for convenience, then you pay with your health, because those are all packed foods which have been on the shelf for a few months and were packed maybe 6 months back in a factory, have no nutrition at all. So I would work hard a little bit to get better quality food. Uh, and
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen is some of the local old world stores are better compared to the newer departmental stores. Maybe if you could find a local atta chakki somewhere nearby, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they will give you the flour that you need, or anything new. Seeds. I find that some of these local stores, local grocery stores, Kirana stores have better collection of seeds available than you would find in any of these big stores.
Okay.
But a little bit of hard work will definitely be needed, but believe me, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Otherwise, we can end the call and I will share the recording. Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend, and we will talk in the next session in 2 weeks.
Thank you, actually. Yes. Have a nice week.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Manish.